Hey, Dark Energy here, bringing you the Eternal Plague build, Orc, Stamina, Templar, Vampire. This is a very fun build. Let's take a look at the stat screen buffed up. Over 3,000 recovery, resistances are nice, crit resistance is on point, and we've got our max stamina over 33. The Serpent Mundus, Dubious Cameron, Vampirism of course, and let's go over some of the gear here. Eternal Hunt Bow, sharpened. When you roll dodge, you leave behind a rune for 9,000 poison damage and immobilizes them for 1.5 seconds. Maelstrom's Battle Axe, we get that critical charge, additional damage over time when we get that bleed. Valken Scoria, there's a lot of dots on this build, so this is a great monster set. Plague Slinger, when you take damage, summon a Skeever Corpse, which will launch 5 poison balls over 5 seconds. 6,400 damage each one. So Valken Scoria again. The Plague Slinger is a damage over time, can proc Valken Scoria, but the Eternal Hunt rune will stun the enemy when you hit him with it, allowing the Plague Slinger balls to hit the enemy. It's a great set synergy. Eternal Hunt and Plague Slinger are insane together. That's why our recovery is so high, and we have a lot of reduced cost on dodge, roll, and sprint. And you see those runes you leave behind when you roll. Those are the runes from Eternal Hunt, 9,000 damage apiece, stuns and immobilizes the enemy for 1.5 seconds. It's a hard stun, drops them to their knees. It's very effective with Plague Slinger. I'll show you how. Alright, so this Atronach has about 30,000 health. He hits me, procs Plague Slinger, 61, 63. You see that, it's hitting him, lobbing the balls, and then he's dead. And this is why, look, you can dodge roll with Eternal Hunt, and you could actually dodge roll on them, and it causes it to just land on them. And this is why you want to have stamina recovery so high. So you can dodge roll for days. Now I've got some in-pen pieces on. You also might want to have some well-fitted, and then also in addition to your champion tree, putting the reduced cost of dodge roll. But well-fitted will reduce the cost of dodge roll by 4%. And you want to have that high so you can keep dodge rolling. It's part of this build. It's essential to this build. And I mentioned that I used a Maelstrom weapon, two-hand for that critical charge damage over time. There it is. Look, it's already proccing Valken Scoria. Works great. And then here, look, Plague Slinger is now proccing on the other enemy. So that is why I use a two-hand of Maelstrom versus a two-hand Eternal Hunt, which you could do. When you use the Maelstrom, you just have to be aware for the bow that you have to dodge roll when your bow is out, because you won't leave the rune behind when you use your two-handed. But I'm used to it. It just requires some good fingers, some bar swapping. If you don't want to deal with that, then just get rid of the two-handed Maelstrom and put on a two-handed Eternal Hunt weapon. Alright, skills. Restoring focus, that's your major resolve and major ward, but it also restores more stamina to you than even indicated on the character screen. Rally, that's your weapon damage buff and healing over time. Stampede, that's your gap closer and your proc for your Maelstrom weapon. Executioner, your spammable finisher. And Dizzying Swing, a heavy blow uppercut, that's a hard stun, it's great. So Bowbar, Poison Injection, this one's an absolute must. Another damage over time again. Resolving Vigor, your main heal. Dodge roll and vigor is so easy to do on this build. Endless Hail, another damage over time. Lay your field down. Caltrops, another damage over time in the field. So you lay your fields down, Endless Hail and Caltrops. You layer them and you just dodge roll through them. Focused Aim, that's your snipe. Okay, the ultimate's Devouring Swarm and Empowering Sweep. Nice big chunk of physical damage, then another dot that it adds. And you also get Empower on your light attacks for the duration of Empowering Sweep, increasing your light attacks by 40%. So you can just, after you use it, you just light attack with your bow. Now you can use Flawless Dawnbreaker. I didn't have it unlocked yet, but I probably would slot it probably in place of the Devouring Swarm. But the Devouring Swarm is a nice AoE dot that will scale off of your stamina. So, okay, so now that we've gone over the gear and the skill setup and shown what these procs look like, I'll go through some rotations here to kind of give a demonstration of how this all comes together. So in big groups in PvE, Caltrops, Endless Hail, layer down your fields, get back in them, let the enemy come to you so they fight in your fields, on your territory, whether it be PvE or PvP, but especially PvE with mobs. But this build is primarily for PvP, and I'll show you how here. But first, look at these Orc passes, why we're an Orc. Unflinching Rage, max health 1,000 with some additional healing. Brawny, max stam 2,000, but Swift Warrior is what we're after. Weapon damage, but sprint cost reduction and speed increase. The mobility on this build is insane. Okay, let me give you a demonstration of the speed of this, and I'll slow it down so I can speak over. Heavy attack, poison injection, bar swap, critical charge, bar swap, dodge roll, turn around, face your target. He hit me, so Plague Slinger is now procced. There's the rune. Valken Scoria's coming. You're ready to fight. Speed it up in real time. Here's how it looks. I mean, it's nuts. And the dots on this build: Poison Injection, Caltrops, Endless Hail, Maelstrom's Crit Charge dot, the Bleed dot, Plague Slinger. Once you get those going, you just dodge roll through there and let them do the rest. All right, champion points. All right, so Warlord and Sprinter are both stamina cost reductions for Break Free and Sprint. Unlocks 75 points Mara's Gift. When you die, you heal allies, but don't die. Mooncalf, stamina recovery. That's the most important in this tree. I put 75. You could put 100 to give you 15% versus 14%, but I thought those 25 points were worthwhile elsewhere, like Tumbling, roll dodge reduction. That's imperative in this build. You can even max that out if you want to. Okay, so let's get over here to this tree here. So Healing Done is really the only thing you're after in this tree, other than maybe Elemental Expert if you wanted to for Valken Scoria. Physical Weapon Expert, that's going to increase your light and heavy attacks. Master at Arms, that's going to increase your direct damage. But then you get that Butcher unlock, which is basically going to increase your damage done with light and heavy attacks by 5%. You want to get that 75-point unlock in that tree. So Thaumaturge, that's damage over time. There's a lot of dots in this build. You want that. Physical Penetration, you want that. And Poison and Disease damage. This is your most important tree. Invest the crap out of it here. All right, so now your resistances here. The one thing I want to talk about, you can do what you want with, but resistant, the crit resistance, you can go up or down with depending on whether you're wearing in-pen pieces or well-fitted pieces. Now on the next tree here, however you want to invest in it, you want to unlock Critical Leech. So that's going to give you more healing in PvP scenarios where critical damage is being done and critical damage is being taken. So the last tree, pretty much just more healing for you. All right, so that's the CP setup. I put together a couple clips of PvP so you guys can take a look at how this build looks in action. Enjoy, guys. Okay, so that wraps up this video. The Eternal Plague build, Stamina Templar DPS. If you guys like this build, check out my channel. I've got a couple more. Feel free to copy and share, and thanks guys for watching.